is the League of Women Voters of Manatee County, the City of Bradenton, Ward 5 Council Candidate Forum. I'm Carolyn Sheets. I am the Voter Services Chair and the Vice President of the League of Women Voters of Manatee County. First, before we start the program, I encourage you to take part in our other candidate forums and use the League's Voters Guides. We have several different formats for the Voters Guide. We've got the digital, which is vote411.org. We have the printed Voters Guide, which is the same thing, only it's printed. If you want some, get to me and I will send some over to you to pass out to friends and neighbors and organizations. We also, if you go to our website, we have all of the different Voters Guides available there for you. Okay, we're pleased today to have the candidates for the City of Bradenton Ward 5 Council, Pam Coachman and Keenan Wooten, are with us today. Each candidate will have 1.5 minutes to answer the questions. Cheryl will hold up this sign, Cheryl, when their time is up, and I'll wave my hand too, just in case. We'll let them finish their sentence and then we'll go on. The format is to alternate from one speaker. We'll start with one, go to the other. The next time we'll start with the second one and go back and forth. This presentation is being recorded, you all heard that, and it will be posted on the League of Women Voters Manatee website. Reference can be made to it and you can watch it in its entirety. It is the property of the League of Women Voters and cannot be used without our permission. We will be taking questions from the audience if you will put them in chat, and then Cheryl, who was helping tonight, will read through them and present them. We will alternate between the questions you all sent in earlier and the ones that are coming in this evening. I would suggest, if you have not, you put your Zoom on speaker's view and then you will have a good picture of whoever is speaking. Okay, I think we're ready. Nobody has a question. All right, I'm going on speaker view. And I'm going to start with candidate Coachman. All right, Pam, why are you running for this office and what knowledge and skills do you bring to it?
Thank you for that. And most of all, thank you, the League of Women Voters, for allowing this opportunity for me to introduce myself. I am running for City Council for the City of Bradenton because I am extremely vested in this city. I was born and raised here. My family has been here for a long time. I'm fourth generation. I am fortunate to have my son and his family here, one of my sons and my granddaughters. So of course, I would love to see progress continue and the quality of life for all citizens be well. As I said, I was born here, I'm vested, I genuinely care. I'm an awesome listener, it's part of my field. And I really would like to see Bradenton have smart growth and all the people and each ward, each area of the city receive equitable services so that all citizens are well.
Okay, thank you. Just in time.
Thank you.
Mr. Wooten, same question. Why are you running for office and what skills and knowledge do you bring to the job?
Well, thank you, League of Women's for hosting this event. I want to thank Pam Coachman as well for coming on this forum to share what our plans for the City of Bradenton Ward 5. I'm Keenan Wooten, an experienced educational professional, fourth generation here in the City of Bradenton Ward 5, and I'm dedicating this campaign to the late great Solomon Williams, my uncle, a Ward 5 native, who was the first Black locomotive engineer in Manatee County and the City of Bradenton. He rode Old Cabbage, and this campaign is dedicated to him. I believe our city is one of the greatest places to live. and I bring a high level of experience to the seat. Education, went to State College of Florida, attended Florida A&M University, got my master's degree at USF, a class member of Leadership Manatee, Gulf Coast Leadership Institute, and Board Institute. I focus on 3 deliverables for the city of Bradenton, which is refocus, revitalize, and reconnect. And I ran in 2016 and I lost by less than 1%. And we're sticking to that model because while our city is a paradise within a paradise, we still have issues and problems that we need to deal with as a community.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wooten.
Good timing. Okay, Mr. Wooten, we're going to start with you on this one. What is your community involvement?
Okay, so today I was just appointed to the board of directors for the Manatee Community Federal Credit Union. I just got appointed today. I'm also a board member with Step Up Suncoast, where we directly impact our toddlers, our VPK students, and underserved and underprivileged residents within the city of Bradenton and Manatee County. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, where we mentor boys, African-American boys. We've given out over $190,000 in scholarships. We deal with prostate cancer research and preserving the history of our community. I'm on the MPO Advisory Committee for Traffic and Safety with the Manatee County. We're a part of another group called Brother to Brother, where we uplift men in our community as well. So I have a long list of organizations that I'm affiliated with that impact our community. And I'm also, I was a part of the Downtown Development Agency, where they met in one of the CRAs in the city of Bradenton. And recently I left that board, but just being at the table and knowing city politics has been a great ride for me, and I'm very proud of it.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Coachman, what is your community involvement?
My community involvement. Of course, I am a mom, a grandmom. I am a speech pathologist in the Manatee County School District, and I'm very involved in my church. Unfortunately, physically, I've not been able to, but I'm on various boards. I'm an officer of the church, and I also am a member of a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. I have been extremely busy taking care of my terminally ill mother. When she was not doing well, I had to move back to Florida, and she passed away, I hate to say, 5 years ago, and it took me some time to get ready to get more involved. I work with the youth. Part of it is professional and a lot of it is personal. I care about the community, though I may not be on a lot of boards or things of that nature. I may not appear to be a community activist. I actively live in the community, and I actively desire and have the will and the expertise to assist in the progress of this community.
Thank you. You guys are doing so good with the times. You have timers.
I know you are.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, this is easy.
Oh, that's true. Okay. All right, now we're back to Pam. How do you believe police oversight and reporting should be handled?
That is definitely the topic of today.
Yeah.
As you know, or most may know, that the city of Bradenton is looking at a citizens advisory board, which would give the community an opportunity to be involved when there's any type of problem or malpractice with any of the officers against the community. I strongly support some form of a board that will be able to sit at the table when they're discussing problems of the community. I feel like even having such a board, the community may feel a lot more comfortable in approaching a board, people made up from their community to express their thoughts. And I think it's great that our police department seems open, our city council seems open to that prospect of having the Citizens Advisory Board. And I strongly recommend it. And I would like to be a part of helping select some of those people and encouraging them to be a part. Communication is key.
Communication. Okay, thank you. Mr. Wooten.
Can you repeat that question?
Sure. How do you believe police oversight and reporting should be handled?
Okay, so number one, that should come from a community approach, and the city of Bradenton has already implemented a community oversight committee. But what I want is a committee with teeth. I want that committee to be able to actually hold our officers accountable and work with police officials and city council to really make a difference. I'm not interested in looking for just an advisory committee. You know, I want some teeth to what we have going on in the city of Bradenton. We know in Ward 5, well, in the city of Bradenton, 75% of the shootings were at black males. So I want an advisory committee with teeth, and I want that committee to be diverse as well. Okay, and this is not something that the city of Bradenton is that they're going to do. They've already done it, and it's been in moving for the last month or two. So right now we need to figure out as a community, what does this look like? No, I don't want to wait after the election. I want to know soon. What does this advisory committee look like? Who's on the advisory committee? I haven't seen any press release of who's on that committee. So we have some answers that need to be answered, and questions that need to be answered in our community. We're looking for those questions to be answered. But if elected, we'll make sure that those questions are answered in a timely manner, and we will make sure that this advisory committee is effective. And that's our approach from a community perspective in policing as we go forward.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Wooten, one more here. This is kind of a switch, move the other way. What solutions to affordable housing would you like to see adopted in Bradenton? What solutions to affordable housing would you like to see adopted in Bradenton?
Well, just like in 2016, I took this approach. I want attainable housing. Last week, I just had I did a conference call with the CEO of Habitat for Humanity. How can we develop attainable housing in the city, and especially in Ward 5? All right, we have funds coming down from the state to help affordable housing, but a lot of people don't understand Ward 5 has the most affordable housing. We have so many affordable housing projects in Ward 5. It begins to get a little bit oversaturated. So no, I want our citizens to obtain the American dream, get a house, and then stay in that house, and then one day move out of that house and sell that house and become a part of the American success story. Okay, so we know we have the most affordable housing in the city of Bradenton. Okay, so how can we work with those owners, those landlords, those companies to enhance what the services we already provide? So that's my focus. More attainable housing, more workforce housing, like that Addison project that got built. That's more workforce attainable housing, so we can give you a step up and not a handout as we move forward. So I want to see more smart projects like that Addison to move forward.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Coachman. Want me to repeat it?
Yes, please.
It's a bit, yeah. What solutions to affordable housing would you like to see adopted in Bradenton?
It is true that there is quite a bit of progress in terms of affordable housing. However, in Ward 5, there is still a need. not only for affordable housing, of course, also attainable housing, housing that is for the workforce, for those young professionals that may not have mama money just right now. They want to work on their own. Smart growth is the key. The city council has to be aware of what some developers may have in mind, even though the project is already approved. You can't let them come back and tweak it and want more and more. Building hundreds of units is not really going to solve the problem. We want home ownership. We want young people to be able to purchase a home. It can be their starter home, fine, but at least it's something that they can have value in, and their money's not just going down the drain. So there is still a need for that. But again, it has to be smart growth, and the community should be a part of it in terms of how they want that growth and how will that growth fit the infrastructure that we have and what needs to be done with infrastructure so that it meets the demands of that housing. So it's definitely a concern in Ward 5 and the city of Bradenton, but it's going to take heads together collaboratively to get it done.
Thank you. I'm going to interrupt and ask a question just to clarify. Attainable housing, you mean like a starter home, affordable to working class people, like
Yes.
policemen and teachers and
Yes.
so on? Okay, just to clarify. Okay,
Well,
So,
Mr.
you know,
Wooten. We're not debating.
Well,
Cheryl has some questions from chat.
no, but I think Mr. Wooten was going to answer that question as well,
Right.
Carolyn.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Kevin.
attainable housing through FHA, working with developers that specialize in that. We had the Addison project. I don't know if anyone knew that was workforce housing. I knew about it because I was on the beginning and the end of that project, and I was a champion of that project. And more opportunities like that. Let's work with landowners to eliminate slum and blight, to bring in Habitat for Humanity, help people help themselves get to the working middle class. And that's what I'm all about.
Thank you. Okay, now Cheryl, you've got some questions
Yes.
there that have come in?
We have some wonderful questions coming in. And this first question is, how do you plan to reclaim or restore public park or land that has been taken over by big developers throughout the city? And let's have candidate Wooten start with that question.
Okay, so in 2016, a big project where the Riverwalk extension is, there was a park that got taken over, Glacier Park that got taken over, and we lost a lot of environmental oak trees that are the pillar to the city of Bradenton, and the community was outraged about that. But I think we have an opportunity here to create or preserve more property and more land to preserve our unique structures in the city of Bradenton. So we got to start having, while I'm all about smart growth, we got to start having these conversations with council and with our environmentalists to make sure we're not impeding on our mystique in the city of Bradenton. I was fighting for that Glacier Gates Park. I grew up over there. I was fighting to restore that. It didn't go my way. I know I can't get everything, but I definitely have that on my mind to restore our environmental mystique of the city of Bradenton. But it starts with conversations. It starts with conversations and electing the right officials.
Thank you. And
Just go ahead.
go right ahead, candidate Coachman. Will you answer that question?
The importance of leisure.
Would you repeat it, Cheryl?
Yes, please.
Sure. How do you plan to reclaim or restore public park or land that has been taken over by big developers throughout the city of Bradenton?
We definitely need to conserve the beauty of Bradenton. It's not called the friendly, beautiful city for no reason. Fortunately for Ward 5, there's still a lot of undeveloped land as opposed to some areas, other areas in the city where they've been cleared and things have been built over it. Our community does need a place to enjoy and leisurely take the time away. But it, again, communication, talking with what the community needs in their particular area. Communication, communication, communication. That's not only just my field. I actually feel like the city council should listen more and understand that we need more areas so that family and children can not only enjoy each other, but enjoy the beautiful city. But again, we've got to have those beautiful parks and what have you in the midst of a beautiful neighborhood with great housing for those families.
Thank you. Good timing. Mr. Wooten, did you want to add something to that?
Yes, we have a ton of parks in the city of Bradenton, and we have a beautiful river walk. But I'm invested in working with this comprehensive plan to make sure that preserving our natural habitats and that natural scenery is a priority in our comprehensive plan. And it starts at City Hall.
Great, thank you. We're going to take one more question from the chat box, and then we'll move on back to some of the questions that were submitted before our meeting. So this question will be for candidate Coachman to start with. What are your plans for more public input with community projects and/or issues within their neighborhoods?
Thank you for that question. One of the foundations I'm running on is communication. At this time, City Council does not have the best relationship between its citizens and what's going on. Citizens want to feel a part of what's happening, and the best way for that is for them to know when things are happening. It takes more than just putting a message on a water bill. It takes more than putting it on a website. Got to reach out and meet people where they are, how they best get their information. It could be a newsletter. It could be a telephone tree. I mean, just ways to get their input so that there's a better working relationship between the city government that's making policies. And as I've said before, they want to be at the table, not on the menu.
Thank you. Candidate Wooten, how would you like to respond to that question?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. What are your plans for more public input with community projects and/or issues within their neighborhoods?
Okay, so number one, in Ward 5, we have an advisory committee called the CCRA Advisory Committee. So one of my deliverables is to bring more credibility back to that by actually meeting. Can't tell you when the last time they met, and those are federal funds for the urban core. So coming in, that's number one. You gotta revamp that and get new leadership in there so our urban core and our CRAs are more involved in the decision-making process. Also, I would be a strong advocate for that community advocate program. And I thought that was a great program where members of your community, so it can be someone from Bradenton Village, it could be someone from Kingston, it could be someone from Citrus Meadows, it can be someone from East Bradenton. These advocates, they're the voice of their community because we know our people. You're working, we're in a heavy urban core area where people are working 2 or 3 jobs. You got 2 or 3 kids taking care of kids watching kids. They probably can't make it to a city council meeting. We also have a code red system with the city of Bradenton where you have to sign up and you'll get alerts on your phone. So we do have that, but let's partner with that app Nextdoor. I know the county uses that a lot. I'm on Nextdoor. sometimes I don't see the city of Bradenton utilizing that either. So let's enhance what we have. And we can do that under my leadership, and I'm planning on doing that.
Thank you, Senator Wooten.
Okay, are we done?
May I?
Yes, we're going to come back to the prescribed questions, and candidate Coachman, perhaps you can save your thought for your closing statement.
Okay. Mr. Wooten, by 2045, the population of Bradenton, Sarasota area is estimated to be 1.1 million people. The downtown area already suffers gridlock, even out of season. What do you feel can be done about traffic congestion in Bradenton?
Okay, so what I've already done, I voluntarily joined the MPO advisory committee. I was appointed by the county commissioners unanimously to work with our MPO advisory team and FDOT to try to figure out and alleviate problems here in Manatee County and the city of Bradenton. And I think we're on a good start. I've also sat in on several shout down meetings about this mystery flyover that's supposed to be coming down. Well, we have several options instead of just a flyover. So my goal is to communicate effectively with the residents of the city of Bradenton, and let's work effectively together to see what project will fit best. We don't want to destroy our urban core, our businesses within that gateway when you come off the bridge off Manatee Avenue. We don't want to destroy that because that's our urban core. We don't have much TIF funds coming into our urban core anyway. We don't want to destroy that. So what are the other projects and what are the other options? We know our people are the most emotional people around. You hear about a flyover, but I want to bring a little bit of calmness and a little bit of transparency to these decision makers. We know we have a problem. We need to alleviate traffic, and that's going to happen, but we all have to come to the table.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Ms. Coachman, the same problem. You want me to read it again?
Yes, please.
By 2045, the population of the Bradenton, Sarasota area is estimated to be at 1.1 million people. The downtown area already suffers gridlock, even out of season. What can be done about traffic congestion in Bradenton?
The idea that 1 million people will be here is really phenomenal. Communicating with the community, and there are that comprehensive plan, and DOT and other experts have proposed some solutions to our problem of traffic. However, they've got to come back with something better, and the community should be involved when they do so. I personally did not hear about meetings about the flyover and all the different possible proposals. And again, it's talking to the people. You don't want to tear up history that's already been established. Ward 5 is where most of the main arteries are. So Ward 5 is really the top area to be concerned about, because this definitely make a strong impact on them. I understand that there are other boards that are handling this. I've watched those recorded meetings, but if you don't let the community know these boards even exist, or if you don't let the community know that they can be more part of the process, then it doesn't have as much of an effect when one person is just doing everything and not sharing.
Okay, time up. All right, thank you. All right, moving ahead. Again, we'll go to Ms. Coachman. We'll start. Moving along the same lines here. What would you like to see done? What would you like to see done with the Route 301 or DeSoto Bridge and the other north-south bridges in Bradenton?
That was supposed to me, right? I wish I had some of those engineers with me right now to help me pick the best plan. I actually need to research more to understand what the proposed ideas are and the impact. From what I do understand, there is possibly a way to have us say the least amount of destruction um, that may solve that problem of using 301, an extension of 301. And of course, we've talked about that third bridge. You know, where's that third bridge going to go? And of course, our other two bridges, the Green Bridge and the DeSoto Bridge, they need work done on them. They're old bridges. But that need for a third bridge and a manner in which connecting 301 and crossing the river without much destruction, least path of resistance, I guess.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Mr. Wooten,
You repeat that?
sure. What would you like to see done with the Route 301 or the DeSoto Bridge and the other north-south bridges in Bradenton?
I would like to see the best project possible for the citizens of the city of Bradenton and Manatee County. We know these bridges are old, and I can quote one of the councilmen at the last 2 or 3 meetings. Where was the vision 30, 40 years ago? Where was the vision? And councilmen, past councilmen have said this, there were none. So you know, I'm prepared to explore all options and make sure that it's cost effective. And so we're not destroying businesses. So we're not destroying our mystique of our city, but we know we are growing out of control. Okay. So there has to be some growing pains with making these decisions. And I'm prepared to sit at the table. I'm already on that MPO advisory board. We talk about the DeSoto Bridge all the time. This is on our radar, and we know these decisions are going to come. And we need leadership that's going to listen to the people, make sound decisions. So 30, 40, 50 years from now, our constituents are saying, job well done. Thank you. I don't ever want to be to a meeting and a councilman says, or someone says, well, that we didn't have lack of vision 30 or 40 years ago. That means you're eating your own young. You're eating me and everybody else that's coming before us or before us or after us. So we'll work on that smart growth, and I want to see the best project possible.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks, Joe. Okay, moving along. Back to Mr. Wooten. What can be done to assure the safety of Bradenton citizens, which is not being done now?
Well, I would like to refocus our Bradenton Police Department. We have in 2020, $18 million budget. In 2021, it was proposed $18.9 million budget. So that budget went up, actually. So I'm prepared to, if elected, to bring different ideas, discipline, looking at that budget line by line to make sure we're offering different types of services to help our people. All right, the budget went up. So I'm curious to say, okay, what's more than what services are we offering this time than last time? Is it a tanker? Is it another car? Is it this? Is it that? I would love to see what services are we offering, or is there more services that you're offering in this budget? Okay, we had a murder in Ward 5 months ago, but it turned out to be a domestic dispute that turned into death. Okay, so does the City of Bradenton Police Department offer any kind of domestic, or is it just a police officer coming to your house trying to break you two up? You know, that murder probably wouldn't have happened if we would have had resources there to prevent that, a man in rage. So we know we have issues to enhance our citizens and keep them safe, but I'm prepared to do that.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Coachman. What can be done to assure the safety of Bradenton citizens that is not being done now?
First of all, and I know I've said this word probably a million times, communicate. We are fortunate enough to have the first female police chief in our city. And she appears, as she works with council, to be open to what is best for the community, what is best for not only the safety of her officers, but the safety of the citizens. She spends money well. Right now, she's even researching the cost of body cams. She wants quality. She wants something that's effective and reliable. I think if we could get, and this is something that I would do once elected, is have those periodic town chats, Zoom chats if we have to until COVID, but that opportunity for police department and all the different departments of the city that serve the people, sit down and talk with them and understand really basic what their basic needs are. Now, as far as policing the police, Citizens Advisory Board would be great. But as far as policy, that's something that council and the police department and the community would have to work together on. And I think they're moving in that direction. So I would just say, once elected, to continue and communicate and let people know what is already in place, because they don't know.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Wooten, we'll let you clarify at your final statement. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we talked about that body cam program, which I'm questioning the sustainability of the program, because what I understand, it's a grant program. And okay, so after this is over, then is the city of Bradenton on the hook for the bill, or are we going to keep getting grants? No, I want to get structured.
This is not the time to go into that. We need to.
Okay.
Thank you. I have another one about the rights. This is Ms. Coachman, I believe. What can be done to protect the rights and safety of minorities and the LGBTQ community? What would you bring to the table that would help these people feel safe and equal in the community?
First of all, listen. And second of all, have them at the table. Have everyone of different diversity. Let me say this about Ward 5 that's so exciting. It is one of the most diverse wards in the city. We've got a lot of some things and a little bit of some things. But what is important is, little or lot, sit at the table, let's talk. Let's come up with solutions so that everyone is living with quality of life equitably across the board. Ward 5, the entire city of Bradenton. I know I keep homing in on this, but I do feel right now most of our problems stem from not communicating and listening to the community. Of course, yeah, I can logically come up with a solution, but that's not how it should work. A council member is to pull from their community and take it to the council, and let's collaboratively solve these problems. It starts with listening.
Thank you. Mr. Wooten.
Okay, so we already currently have advisory committees within the city of Bradenton, which are filled with a diverse group of people. All right, so as a councilman, it's my job working with the mayor to make sure these advisory committees are well diverse and getting populations from the LGBTQ community to serve. It's sometimes we can throw ideas out there, but sometimes it's not welcoming. Who's going to go have these conversations with members of our community? Who's going to be that councilman or councilwoman that seeks people in our community to represent? Okay, so I think that's where we start. You know, if elected, I'm going to take a hard look at these advisory committees. Who's representing them? Who's represented? Are they young? Are they LGBTQ? Are they women, minorities? You know, let's examine our infrastructure already, so then we'll move forward to represent everybody, and everybody's opinion matters in the city of Bradenton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheryl, do you have any questions
Yes,
that
I
come
have.
up on chat?
We have several chat questions, and I'll start with 3 for now. And let's start with candidate Wooten. What are your feelings about reallocating funds from law enforcement to fund programs in distressed communities? Do you feel communities of color are hyper-policed?
Okay, so number one, looking at the data, most crime and most shootings are in Ward 5. Okay, so I want to be safe. All right, I want to be safe, and I want my community to be safe. Just looking at some of the data. Okay, but we have an $18 million budget in 2020, and now we got an $18.9 million budget. Where's the money going? Okay, are we keeping the same infrastructure with the same amount of crime, or are we trying to work together? So I'm prepared to go through that budget, and that's a great question. Go through that budget and try to see where our resources can go to help prevent crime, and to keep law and order, and not only to keep law and order, but bring resources to help our people in our communities. We had a domestic call the other day. Like I said, it ended in a murder. I want to bring resources to situations like that.
Thank you. Candidate Coachman, would you like to respond to that question?
Please read it again.
Yes. What are your feelings about reallocating funds from law enforcement to fund programs in distressed communities? Do you feel communities of color are hyper-policed?
As we look at statistics, a lot of the violent crimes, and I don't know them specifically, are occurring in Ward 5. Taking funds from the police department and putting in distressed areas sounds like a great idea, because that area needs the help. But so does the law enforcement agency needing help so they can better understand that distressed community. I know we're staying away from the word defund, but we have police departments now understanding medical conditions that can sometimes be misinterpreted as a criminal act. We now need to prepare them to better understand mental health issues and the stress of the situation that COVID-19 has brought on to families. So having the more of a mental health aspect in our policing, I think would be the key to helping in those distressed areas as well.
Thank you. Candidate Wooten. Actually, let's start with candidate Coachman with this next question. What is your opinion on the referendum question about the mayoral powers, mainly as it relates to the police department?
That's a very good question. Currently, because of how the charter is written, we have a strong mayor position, and the mayor is the only one that the police department answers to some degree. Even though council votes on the funding, their budget, they're not necessarily part of the hiring process. I feel that not only should council be a part of selecting and communicating with the police chief, which is probably one of the top positions in any of the departments, and I feel Public Works is important also, but it's a very, very important department. But not only council needs to make sure they listen to the community as well. So I guess I'm saying strong mayor, medium mayor, the council and the people should be more involved in how the police department is structured.
Right, thank you. Candidate Wooten, would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, yes.
What is your opinion on the referendum question about the mayoral powers, mainly as it relates to the police department?
Okay, so I was at the beginning and now I'm at the end of that whole referendum situation. At the beginning, we had problems in Ward 5 with citizens and residents saying, I'm having problems with the police department, okay? And then it spilled over to council, and needless to say, we are here. I was an advocate for a charter advisory committee. Like I said earlier in this forum, Mr. Wooten, I can't get my way all the time, and I didn't get my way with that. We know we have a 100-year-old charter that's outdated. There was a time where in the city of Bradenton where the mayor could order you to be arrested. That was on the books. That was on the books. So we can go back and forth of what's right, what's wrong. I think the mayor should have these powers. I think the mayor shouldn't have these powers. Let's take it to a vote. Let the people decide. I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot in this forum. Communication. Let the people decide. So the people will decide November 3rd if they are okay with the mayor having all kinds of powers over the police department, or we want to scale back and let council have more powers over the police department. That's where we're at. We're the greatest country on the planet, and I'm a proud American. We'll see the results on November 3rd.
Thank you. Carolyn, I'll go with one more question and then we'll go with yours, okay?
Sure.
All right. This is a great question as well. And this will start with candidate Wooten. This is a nonpartisan race. Therefore, how will you separate party/personal values to ensure the needs of the people are met?
Well, number one, Mr. Wooten meets with everybody. Mr. Wooten goes everywhere in this nonpartisan race. I go everywhere. I met with some Democrats around the corner in my community. I was with another club the other day. We meet with everybody in this nonpartisan race because we will be on every ballot, and we're going to take it to the people, and we're going to take Ward 5's story to the people. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to do that. We're not going to run from any group, any political party. We're taking Ward 5 everywhere because this is a citywide election. People don't understand that. People think, oh, it's just my neighborhood. Got to win the whole city. So you have to listen to everybody. You have to talk to everyone. Stay at home if you want. You might lose the election.
Thank you. Candidate Coachman, would you like me to repeat the question?
Please.
This is a nonpartisan race. Therefore, how will you separate party/personal values to ensure the needs of the people are met?
Thank you. Yes, this is a nonpartisan race, and party affiliation should not be the all in all in terms of how a candidate approaches the job. I don't look at party. When I'm living each day in Ward 5 and talking with my neighbors, friends, and people I work with, I understand what helps with the quality of life of an individual, irregardless of their difference, their similarities, or political views. You want your community to be a place that you want to live, a place you want to grow, a place you want to be a part of the businesses, the small mom and pop businesses, and enjoying your community. I don't see the need to think about party affiliation. However, I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to be upfront with people and say, irregardless of what my party affiliation is, I'm here to work for you. And I wouldn't keep that from them.
Thank you. Carolyn, would you like to continue?
I would. We need to kind of finish up here. I'm going to move on, and I'm at Ms. Coachman. This is one of my favorite questions. Do you have any innovative ideas, yours or ones done in other municipalities, that you would like to see Bradenton adopt that is not in the current plans?
I'm going to make an admission. I have not read the entire comprehensive plan. It's over 200 pages. But I think I have an idea from the building and the progress that I have seen so far. I, of course, would love to see my city have a better mass transit system. Not the Jetsons, but a better mass transit system that makes it comfortable, affordable for everyone to use. When I lived in Atlanta, we have public transit, we have MARTA. Everyone gets on MARTA. You have someone from an affluent area outside of the city jumps on MARTA, goes downtown, works, then head back home. And then you have the worker that's going to McDonald's to work. So mass transit that everyone is comfortable to be on. That's kind of the one thing that I would like to see, because in that too, if we had a better mass transit system, that would cut down on our traffic.
Okay, Mr. Wooten, same question.
Can you repeat it?
Yes. Do you have any innovative ideas, yours or ones done in other municipalities, that you would like to see Bradenton adopt?
Well, number one, I want to use that Nextdoor app a little bit more, because that can reach thousands of residents in the city of Bradenton. But I would love to see a greater emphasis on building our downtown up a little bit more. We know a healthy downtown is better for the city of Bradenton and the county. So a little bit more emphasis on that, while strengthening our urban cores. That's the backbone of the city of Bradenton. So bringing with a little bit more emphasis to downtown to strengthen the city of Bradenton. I would also want stronger partnerships with our local schools. I don't really see the city of Bradenton council or representatives in these schools, except for our SROs that are at the city of Bradenton schools. So I would like to foster more community programs and work with our schools within the city of Bradenton. We talk about third grade reading levels. We have in Ward 5, 2 of the lowest third grade reading level schools in the county, G.D. Rogers and Manatee Elementary. So I would love to foster and partner with those schools and see what the city of Bradenton can do to bring a remedy to those low third grade reading levels. While the 2 schools are passing, we want to tackle those programs as well.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're running to the end of the session. I would like now each of you to give a closing statement, kind of give us a feel for where you are so we can think about what you all have to offer. Mr. Wooten, you're up.
Okay, so I'm Keenan Wooten, a 4th generation resident of the city of Bradenton. I've been endorsed by the Suncoast Professional Firefighters and Paramedics. I've been endorsed by the Realtors Association, League of Southeastern Credit Unions. I sit on various boards, very knowledgeable of city politics and what's going on in our city of Bradenton. Currently, I was attending our budget meeting. I go to all the budget meetings to make sure the money is going in the proper ways and used for the residents of the city of Bradenton. And we are here. We've decided to be here. And we have a birthright to at least represent our wonderful, wonderful city of Bradenton. And not just Ward 5, but everyone in the city of Bradenton, because this is a citywide election. We ran in 2016, lost by less than 1%. We feel confident going forward. And we look to make Bradenton a better place as we move into the next phase and bring our youth with us. And that's what I'm all about. And we're going to make sure we're fiscal responsible by being transparent and being available on a day-to-day basis. www.votewooten.com, and we'll be here and to answer every question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Coachman.
Well, I am Pam Mitchell Coachman, and yes, I am running for Bradenton City Council Ward 5. And I'm doing so because I care, because I've watched growth, and I want to see continued growth, smart growth. I'm endorsed by 2 former city councilmen, Councilman Clarence Love, whom there's a park named after, and he's the reason why I'm able to even sit here and run for that seat. A lot of progress occurred under his name, and there were apartments even named after him, which are now being rebuilt. And hopefully those residents that lived in that area are going to be getting first dibs. And also former Councilman Reverend James P. Golden, who has instrumentally changed Ward 5 as well in his time. So I'm endorsed by those 2 gentlemen. But most of all, I am endorsed by quite a few people that have taken the time to support me, work with me, donate some money too. So to me, just having the community and the entire city of Bradenton, because I have friends all over the city and the county. So just to have their endorsement and their support and their backup. And they know through the years, I have developed very great listening skills. That's what my clinical ears are here for. But most of all, I know how to work with people, and I know how to build a group dynamic so that we can get things done.
Thank you. I'm very impressed with what I've heard this evening. I'd like to encourage everyone to check out our other candidate forums that we have going on. Check out our website. We've got some the rest of this week and next week and until the election. But I'd like to thank both Ms. Coachman and Mr. Wooten for this evening. Good luck to both of you. Thank you.
May I give my website real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
I am at votepamward5.com, or you can email me at pam@votepamward5.com. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you all. We will see you another time. All right, good night.